split to the different components of the AfriCulture's platform. Those different components, we can divide them in according to the logic and the target of the audience that they're targeting. We have the WebGIS and the GeoBI, which are parts of the component that targets to some visitors of the platform that might have that might are more familiar with geospatial data, and it's the place where someone can explore the data available. And at the same time, we have the other component where services and the use cases are presented. And it's at this part, it is easier to consume and digest from someone who is not so familiar with this kind of data. So we can start by this section and going through the services. Here is actually the place where we can navigate through the different services of the project, and we can actually explore them. It is actually a list, an interactive list that we can see what is available by AfriCulture's, the climate service, the crop service, drought, land service, livestock, water, and weather service. Here there is some description, some information about this service, and we can see that each service has some products that we can navigate more. For example, the weather service has the weather forecast and weather extremes early warning products. So by going one step deeper, we get some information about this particular product, and we get to see also the actual data, either listed or in the form of maps hosted in the other component, the WebGIS of the platform, that here appears together with the text. So the visitor can actually interact with the relevant to this service product data. This WebGIS, we're going to go right after to explore these functionalities. But the point here is that we can actually interact with the data that are described above. So in the same logic, all services and products are presented in that part. So it's a good starting point for the platform, for someone who is for the first time, who just wants to explore what is available by AfriCulture's. In the service, in the same logic, going back to the landing page, we can explore the different use cases. And for example, here for Kenya, we can have a look that these use cases are actually short stories of example cases, and they are explained here, described, and they are supported by the data in the same logic as the service are presented. So here the required AfriCulture's products are listed, coming in a list of interactive list. Actually, we can just click on it and go directly to the relevant data preloaded on the WebGIS component. So here, this user story requires drought monitoring and early warning. So by clicking here, we get directly to the relevant map and all the relevant products listed. In the same way, it is another map regarding, I think, crop condition monitoring is presented in the main page. So it's a nice combination of the content of the data, that the data support the stories, and similarly by the WebGIS and also by the GeoBI, the Geobusiness Analytics tool, that is one of the components of the the platform. This is another way to visualize the data in the form of dashboards. At any time, each for each use case are tailored and designed to monitor a particular topic of interest. This is something that each time can be defined by the author of the use case, or or in case of monitoring by the decision maker or the group of the team that wants to monitor specific variables. So this is something quite convenient. It's like data with actual more usability, meaning not just throw data on the map. So this is needs also a little bit of preparation by some expert, but it's easier to consume by a decision maker and help and assist for making monitoring and making decisions further. So I'm going from the landing page to go deeper to the WebGIS part, which is actually a catalog with the data. It is the place where we can actually view the data. From the Add Data button, pops up the window of the data catalog, and here we can see that the products are grouped under the services, and there are also some additional products, like the boundaries of the countries. We can load, for example, some data about Kenya, and we can explore on this catalog the various data. For example, if we click on the crop condition monitoring, we can go typically on the NDVI product, and this way we add it on the map. The people who are a little bit familiar with GIS, this is a typical way to add the data and view them, so it's easier. So we can see on the left column that there are some functionality, some options regarding the zoom and how we visualize the data. Let me not confuse them. How, for example, the opacity, or we can export the data, or we can have some more information and regarding the metadata of this data by clicking on the About This Data button and having a pop-up window containing all this metadata. There are also some interesting functionalities regarding, for example, the time series. So many of the data hosted by available by AfriCultuReS are actually time series offered. So we can see that we can select the different time step. It takes some time to load. Because let me see. Let me play with another one. I think, with LAI. So we can navigate through the different through time with by this section, by the buttons under the section of time. We can go forward and backward. So this is a way to navigate through this dimension of the time. So another relevant functionalities on the bottom of the screen. We can select the time on this timeline, and we can actually just play the entire timeline and have a small like a GIF of the data evolving through time. So from this little menu on the bottom, And something more that I would like to show you regarding the time series is the functionality of plotting the time series actually against time, the data. So by clicking on the map, no, I got just give me, yeah, yeah, wrong button pressing. So by just clicking on the map, we can get the time series plotted against time, of course. And this is also an interesting function regarding the having like a per pixel analysis on the data. This would be quite useful. We can download this time series. There are also some other options on the left of the screen for regarding the coloring and the style. I think it just stuck right now because I asked too much. Okay, here it is again. Crop condition monitoring, LAI. So yes, on the left on the menu, we can just change the colors regarding the purpose. Okay, these are some options available here. And we can also play with stretching the values, the maximum and the minimum. We can change them. This is something might be useful for focusing on some parts of the data set. There are also some options of sharing the map that we created. We can just copy the URL and load it in a new tab, and it will be exactly the same, the map as we made it, on same zoom scale and data sets. There's also another interesting functionality regarding to if we would like to compare different data sets. For example, here I have the LAI and the NDVI anomaly. I don't know how related they are, but we can just split the screen. Here's a button, and it's also available on the right. Split the screen and divide it so we can display one data set on the one part of the screen and one on the other, and we can next play a little bit more with this tool and focus in particular areas and be able to compare the values on the data sets. There is also another functionality I would like to show you here. This is related to extracting zonal statistics of some raster data sets. So let's load a raster data set, for example, an NDVI, and maybe a little bit transparent, and so we can focus on an area, and so I'm going to draw a polygon on the map and then get the zonal statistics for that polygon and for the NDVI that I loaded. So by going to the data on the top of the catalog, there is this zonal statistics. This is a tool actually, it's not a data set. So from here we can draw a polygon or insert coordinates. So done and running the analysis. Yeah, okay, I'm getting an error at this time, but I think just need to refresh it or just to open a new one. because sometimes there is a issue there. So again, I'm loading the NDVI and drawing, okay, at this time a random polygon, and run the analysis. Yeah, I should get these values. Sometimes needs care, and in order to perform it, I'll give it a last try, but this is a functionality that might be quite interesting for getting the values. Okay, it seems that it's not working for now. Maybe I can refresh. It's a quite interesting and valuable functionality when it comes to comparing different areas, spatial units. So, okay, I'm not going to go for another time, but we get the minimum, the maximum, or the mean values of the polygon, of the raster values inside the polygon. So, more or less, the platform. These are the main components. And of course, on the last part, there is the GeoBI, which directs to, maybe it's the business analytics tool. It's where we can actually create some visualizations and dashboards, like the one I showed you before. It's quite it gives the opportunity to make visualizations in different ways, and it's actually need to tailor how we prefer to visualize the data. So it needs a little bit of exploration here. But so the outcome could be like something like this, or a map with a zonal statistics, or something like that. So more or less, this is the platform, and of course you can see that there is a plethora of different services and products, and please feel free to explore the data and the functionalities. So thank you very much.